Guys, so I've kind of been doing a lot lately. This is a new project I'm working on. This is I got it at Walmart. It's I got some paint on me. It's called a cigar box. But I love these little trinket boxes and I love the natural wood. So what I did was I gessoed the top because I'm gonna be doing a painting on it, and then on the inside in this top part and the bottom part I painted it pink. I might have to do an extra layer, but I don't know because I kind of really like this. Oh, I keep getting paint on me. I really love that kind of like texture, but sometimes I'm really more into a flat, so it just kind of depends on how I feel. I don't want to put like a cute saying up here to make it like, you know, like a trinket box, and I'm going to be painting like a really pretty girl with the hair tucked away all nice, so it's something really simple and cute. I kind of want to show you how this painting turned out. I don't remember if I took footage, so this is fully I put Mod Podge on here. Now a lot of people say don't put Mod Podge because it yellows and tints. I haven't had a problem with it, but so if you're thinking about using it, just kind of be cautious about that. And even this little trinket box here, let me pull it out. It's an old painting, but ooh, everything's falling. Timber. So I painted this Baby Yoda box. So what I did was I painted the outside kind of galaxy. Open. Kind of hard to do it with one hand. Here. There we go. So it's open and just natural wood on the inside. So I painted the what's out here on this wooden heart that was included. So that's what I have. And let me put this all back because I need that back. And I also painted this hanging llama. I don't know if I'm keeping that or if I'm getting rid of it, but yeah. Hi guys, sorry for looking like a really hot mess. I'm definitely still in my PJs. I'm gonna handle it right now, but I kind of wanted to quickly talk about what's going on. So what I've been doing is kind of working on a mixture of things like craft fair items and other stuff. I'm trying not to do too many like craft fair stuff because I'm sharing it with somebody else and I don't know how much that person is gonna have, and we only have like a 4x4 table and I want a couple things to do with it. So that's basically what's kind of going on, is that I am doing that and doing like the process of it. So yeah. I'm working on it right now, and then I also have to, I've been grading and stuff all last night and today and answering emails from PLTs and things, and they've been really good. A lot of them have been asking me, you know, how are the students doing? Are they actually doing their work? Which helps me because our school is so much different than normal public education. We still have, it's a public charter school, which is, I went to high school there for my last 2 years of high school, so I love it and I understand the system. And the way we do things is a little bit differently, especially for our classes, because we do have a campus that is an option because it's homeschool based. So what they've been doing is every month they have to turn in a certain amount of work. So I get emails asking about how the students are doing, what they should talk to their students about, if there's something that needs to be done. Sorry, I had to help with something real quick. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing, is answering emails and handling things. I've gotten a lot done. My order sheets are done, and I get to give that to her the last day, so that way she can't order until July 1st. So I have it done and over with, so on the last day of my working day, I can give her rundown. I gotta go over real quick to make sure that everything makes sense and is very detailed, because I guess I don't know, she just asked me to specifically do that, so that way they can find everything. Makes sense. I gotta go out of my way to do it, especially when the kids need something. So that's what we've been doing. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I'm kind of doing a lot right now. I also need to make tons of things. Like, I kind of made a list for TA stuff because I get a TA during art, and it's a lot easier for somebody in like an English class to have a TA because they can have specific things they do, like help grade or input grades into a system. I don't have that, so I had to come up with some creative ideas to help me do that, and be a little bit more detailed. Like, first thing, organize / pass out papers. So if I have a set of papers that they need to do for that class period, I'll have them pass it out and have them do all of that. Like, check to make sure in the beginning of class all the art supplies in the right places. If not, make sure they're in the right places, because I hate disorganization. If it's not set up how I set it up, I get irritated and angry. And I know sometimes it's kind of like you don't think about it and all that fun stuff, so that's why I'm kind of like making sure that I have, you know, if I have the assistants, it's not on me. Like, I noticed that in the class I didn't have them do anything because I didn't know what for them to do. So now I just have I'm gonna have a paper, and I'm gonna hang it up and be like, these are your duties. I'm gonna set up like a little desk, just some fun things, like make it all cute or whatever for my little TAs, because most of the time it's girls who are my TAs, just to kind of make them feel special, that they have their own special place and they can sit on the couch, they can sit wherever they like, but that's what they're doing. To help critique students on their work if they need critiques, because I want to implement that a lot, because my students are not taking critiques very well, and so I want them to learn that, hey, you're right, this is wrong. And I know personally I don't take some critiques very well, and I'm like, what are you talking about? But you have to get out of your headspace and be like, no, you're right, like that's exactly it. Or if they need help and they know how to do it, they can help them, just to kind of ease a lot of the pressure off of me when I have them, because it's a lot of work sometimes, and I'm only one person with like 20 to 30 kids. It's overwhelming sometimes. And then let's see, the big thing is cleaning palettes and brushes. Now I'm implementing it to where the students do it themselves, and it's working a little bit. Sometimes we have slight things where students don't have enough time and they're rushing and they don't do a good job. So that way my TAs will say, hey, this isn't a good job, let me fix it. And can it be a backup plan for that? Because I can't spend time washing brushes all day for like 5 hours dealing with kids constantly. If they decide to paint, I'm kind of doing a slight, like, we're gonna have specific assignments next year, but I'm gonna give them more creativity. If they want to use a specific item, they can use that specific item. I'm not picky. I don't want to be picky. And then also at the end of class, watching and making sure everyone's putting everything in the right places, because when you're in a rush, you don't think, you're like, oh, this looks kind of the same, I'm gonna stick it here, and you just don't think about it. I do it, but I just need extra eyes when I can, because it is frustrating and I don't like handling that. So that's what we're doing. That's how we're doing it. And then I am also need to make sure that all my stuff, you know, and that's just like one set of things. So I want to make sure, like, I'm very specific, like especially with the plants, like how to water specific plants, because I know I'll have a couple of different ones, but I'm not sure which ones are going to be good, because I know one of my plants that's in my classroom right now is dead. I left it because they told us we were coming back in 2 weeks, so I was like, oh, I'll come back, and then that didn't happen. We were gone for the rest of the year. Well, they kind of scheduled us. I was like, oh, I'll take it back, but I have to buy a new plant anyway, so I'm gonna get a new plant that's pretty much the same. That plant you only water once a week, and then my brother is growing baby's breath for me, so I like that. And I'm also kind of planning out how I want to do my classroom, because my classroom is it's too crowded, which are not the kids' fault. It's because the custodians, or we call them maintenance, they haven't taken out the stuff that I need taken out so I can make my classroom how I want it, which is frustrating. And then Two, the way I set it up still takes too much space, and I don't like it. I don't like the little shelves on there because, well, the reason why the previous teacher did it was how she set up the class was you kind of paint whatever you want and grow with it, and she gives you the advice. It just lets you be, it's very like expressive. Just paint, just do your artsy thing and grow yourself kind of thing, which is good, but when you don't have the basics and fundamentals, it kind of strays in between and it's a little bit harder. So she had those panels up, so if kids are using canvas boards or things that aren't as easy to hang up with thumbtacks on the wall, that's what she did. I'm not doing that next year. We have some projects, and I'm I still have to kind of come up with my own lesson plan, and it's a little hard because I kind of flip-flop. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, well, let's do this, and I want to integrate to where we do reading, but we also do a project to back up that reading and all that fun stuff. So I have to come up with that, and I also don't have any storage really. I have like a few carts and a cart that I brought in, that's my personal cart, and I'm ordering more utility carts, which is on my order form, which I want before the school starts, so that way when I do my teaching thing, I have everything and I don't have to have that massive cubby thing that I do not like. And I also want it really open. I want it spacious. I want it comfortable. So taking out all the bulky furniture, as well as adding in more furniture for storage, which some people are like, that doesn't make sense, but like smaller bookshelves and paper storage. That paper storage is going to take a lot of space, but the kids really need that paper storage. Adding bookshelves to have only a class set of books that they need, which I have probably over 100 student books on this big bulky art technique book, which is a great book for art techniques. However, I don't use this book. And I think it's really important that we have it, and when we're working on specific projects, this book is great and it gives you really good technique. But I don't need this book at all whatsoever. But I still want to keep it in the classroom because I think it's really important to be able to have, kids to have all access to everything they need. Books. We have a Chromebook in my room. That will have to be charged when I get there and stuff like that. So that's what I've been working on, is trying to like divide it into different things. And when I have a painting class, like I have 2 painting classes, a drawing class, and then I have middle school art, which is kind of a mixture of different things, and it's so overwhelming and it's a lot to kind of break down. So I have the whole summer to kind of break things down, and I'm going to order a teacher planner, which I know a lot of people are like, oh, you can just do it on the internet. I'm a person who, you have to have everything written down to the T. I have to write on paper like this and then write another and like rough draft it handwriting, because that's how my brain functions. So that's what I have to do as well. I've gotten a couple different things because my teachers, like the school was able to give us access to print out 4 things. So I got a new classroom decor set that's kind of like farmhouse, planty, botanical theme, which is kind of what I'm going for. It's kind of a mixture of things that I have in my room. Long story, but so I worked on that. That's printed out at my mom's house. I have to laminate those and all that fun jazz. I also, let's see. I also got a couple different things. So, I printed this out so it was like on one sheet, but I put them on these because, so these are the National Visual Arts Standards. So that way they know what I have a visual of what the standards are. So we have like on the creating, and then I have presenting, and then responding, and then connecting as well on here. And on my bulletin board, the one bulletin board I have in my classroom, it's got I have these like little cardboard things that somebody just kind of splattered art on, so I stuck those up there, and I'm going to glue these on those little boards so that way I have the visual arts standards and they're cute and it kind of goes with my room a little bit. And what I'm also going to stick up on there, and I'm going to make prints of these, are the art classroom rules. I do have like classroom rules like up there, but this is like another one because I'm going to attach this to my syllabus next year, which I still have things on my syllabus. The only thing that doesn't work is bring your supplies to class every period. And that's it, because they don't have to bring their materials unless they want to. So I'll probably put in parentheses if you have specific ones you like to use, because I make sure I have everything in my room for kids to use and utilize, and they're more than welcome to. But I do have a lot of students too who have very specific supplies that I personally don't get, like well, I have some of these, but like art pens, like the microns and stuff like that. I have like a few of them in the classroom, but not very many. Or like, you know, white jelly rolls, I only have like 4 of them, and some of them just prefer to use their own supplies because they can and the school buys it for them. So if they have them, bring them. I don't mind. It doesn't matter to me. As long as you're working on art and you're creating how you feel, it doesn't matter. So I printed that out as well. So I have like a couple things planned how I'm gonna put them up, what's going on in my room. But I'm also, you know, it's just a lot over the summer, and it gets me to think a little bit more, and it kind of makes me kind of think like, okay, these are the things I need, and also how I'm decorating things, like my door in my room. I don't like my door. It works for the previous teachers. It's basically an eye painted on the door, and it says "See through the eyes of an artist." It's not me, so I want to buy either contact paper or just buy like wrapping paper and tape it to my door somehow, and then just get like a fun like floral wreath, something simple. I don't like things kind of like crazy and chaotic, and just to kind of make it homey, because I'm in there for a long time. Some of the kids in there are in there for more than like 2 to 3 classes because they love my classes. So they take different subjects because they want to be able to explore everything. So I've been trying to figure that out. I want couches for my pillows. I would like to kind of do more of like a, I would like to do a, what's this called? I would like to have it open and like optional, so they have different things they can stand while they're doing art. They can use this, but the kids really aren't, even though they're high school and middle school, they just can't be given options because they don't make the right choices. And when you don't make the right choices, you guys don't get rewards, and you guys don't get free range as much as you would like. So I'm not kind of going with like a free choice seating system and doing it that way, because they haven't proven to me in any type of form or way last year. Maybe if they do it this year, we might be able to change it for the next school year, but as of right now, I'm sticking to normal desks. I'm gonna have a couple of saddle horses hopefully for next year, so that way they can sit on saddle horses, but for the other times they're standing. You're standing because you gotta stand when you work. We'll have chairs, but you know, just kind of planning everything out for what we're doing next year. So that's kind of really been what I'm doing. I'm kind of like micromanaging everything to a T. So when I show up to my room, and I don't know how my room is gonna look. I don't know if they're gonna clean it. I don't know anything. So I got to deal with that and just kind of go over things and make sure I have everything. I'm putting it in my handbook thing, so that way I'm prepared. I'm also I have like a checklist of what I need to do. All my order forms right here. I got all my order forms, and I gotta kind of go through it because I don't know how detailed I got it. This is a lot, and I didn't expect it to be so much, but then I looked at the prices and doing all the prices, and I was like, oh Jesus, okay. This is the order forms are for the whole year, so I categorized it, color coded it to where it's going to be so that it's easier for the person who does the order forms and stuff for them to know and understand what's going on. Oh, it's hot in here. So yeah, with that being said, I ranted for 16 minutes of things you probably did not want to hear, and this video is probably going to be super long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you go and do my thing, wait for my box to fully dry, especially in the top with that gesso, so I can get sketching. Gonna get myself ready. I probably should have gone ready earlier, but I didn't because I'm lazy and I had things to do. So I'm gonna do that. I'm also probably gonna clean since I'm already icky, so I'll clean and then do my thing. But I will come back to you when I'm doing something, probably when I do like the sketch and like, or just the finished product of this. I'm not quite sure. I also need to plan out a painting tutorial, so that's gonna be fun. But I will talk to you guys later, and I'll figure that all out for you. Alright, bye! Okay, so I'm going to show you real quick how I get this really great impressionistic leaf texture. So I kind of have 3 different paints. Right now I am using Craftsmart and Apple Barrel. So those are the 3 exact ones that I'm using. So I just flip it over kind of to make it a little bit easier. So I kind of go between this one and this one. So I kind of get some of the darker ranges and kind of like mix it in a little bit, and then I get this light one and I blend the colors a bit, just kind of add a little bit more dimension. And the key to impressionism is just how you do your strokes. So I have this square brush and I kind of go with it. I don't kind of have a specific, I just kind of do this like pat rub, and then when I do is I get this lighter one and I just slowly add texture kind of randomly to kind of get like a leafy look, and I kind of go back and forth. I have to kind of coat everything as much as I can and try to get different light and dark gradients, because with normal plant life what tends to happen is you have the darker gradients in the background and then the lighter and more the foreground, but in here just kind of randomize it, which kind of gives it that natural look a little bit. And once that's kind of all blended like how I did right here, that's when I come in with more of this green. It just kind of it's kind of like using a palette knife. Like I very lightly make texture just to kind of give it a softer look in grays. And like since that one is dry over here, I'm gonna kind of like come in here and then I kind of go back to where I had this darker color and I reblend it so that way it kind of comes back to normal. And I go back and forth, and as I go I do kind of similar to oil paint, so I'm doing wet on wet. You definitely don't have to do wet on wet, but I'm impatient sometimes and I just kind of like it. So if you do dry technique, what's gonna happen is it's not gonna give as much of a blend. It's gonna be a little bit more texturized a little bit, so it's gonna have like what you see with palette knives, like the scrapiness and like thin consistency to it. So if you kind of want to try a little bit more control, this will be a really good way. And honestly, craft paint is so much more easier to control because it's still liquidy, but it's not as liquidy as watercolors. And as you can see, I kind of was practicing, so on here, I'm gonna write in navy, and I'm just gonna put that on there and just have like just a cute logo. But yeah, so that's what I have so far.